Hi Robert, I'm just going to try and demonstrate how the stretch tool can work with the stuff that you've drawn here. So first of all, I'm going to select the stretch tool over here, and then what I have to do first of all is click here where the cursor is. So I'm just clicking in the screen to start the window and moving the window across to the left, and then clicking again. Then I need to say that that's all the entities that I want to stretch, so I hit the return key. Then I'm going to select a point to stretch them from, which can be anything actually, and I'm just clicking here, and then I can stretch those along the axis that way, or I can stretch them that way as far as that point. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. Now let's say I just wanted to stretch one of these. I can press return again to re-enter the stretch command and just go across that one. It's a crossing selection, and I press return, pressing a from point, and then I'm pulling it out and then clicking to where I want it to be stretched to. And again the same, and of course if I want to stretch this end here, I'm going to select that tool again. Again it has to be a crossing selection, so again I have to choose a point above these, if you like, between, well, so that I can cross the ends of those lines. Okay, and then I can pull it across like that. Now I'm just wondering, for example, if you're doing something like this, if you do this, for example, if I do that, if I'm crossing the whole thing, then all I'm going to do is well, actually nothing happens. Let me think, what could you be doing? Stretch. Okay, how about if you're doing this? If you window the whole thing, then you will be moving them, because what will happen is you have to have anchor points. In a sense, you have to have part of the object that you're trying to stretch has to be not included in your window, in your crossing window. So as long as I'm selecting it here and crossing here, at any point between here and here, sorry, no, as long as I'm crossing the thing, it's okay. If I'm enclosing the whole thing, then it will just move it. So let's just escape and let's try these this time. Okay, now this time I'm going to be crossing the tops of these. That's the easiest thing. Again, press return and move them upwards. Right, I'll just undo that. Sometimes I'm doing things so automatically I don't know what I'm doing, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's try this again. So I'm clicking here, I'm crossing here, clicking again there, then I'm pressing return, and then I have to select a start point. I'm clicking again in the screen and I'm pulling it up. If I wanted to increase the space between these things, for example, I'd have to do this. I'd have to go between those two. I think they're plywood sheets, aren't they? I'd have to go between them like that, click down here, press return and pull across like that, and that will increase the space. If I want to increase the width of these, that's actually quite difficult, because I've got to get in between the two long lines. So let's try it. Let's see. I'm not absolutely sure what you're trying to do, but let's have a go. I click here, and then I can go, if I zoom out a bit and zoom back in, hopefully I can pick that up. Then I click here, so that's in between those two lines, press return, drag it out, and that will allow me to, and then I click again to allow me to thicken it. Okay, so I'm going to upload this little bit of video, and tell you where it is, and hopefully that might actually be some help.